Hello, everyone, and welcome to another one of our podcasts. My name is Albert Ramos, and today we're going to be talking about engaged leadership leads to successful service members. Or does it? Today, I'm with retired Sergeant Major Barry Bull, known in social media. Famously known in social media, okay? So we're gonna have a meaningful conversation with him, and we're gonna touch some topics that are some current issues that the Marine Corps is facing, right? But no, we're not only gonna talk about the issues, we're gonna talk about some possible solutions for those issues that the Marine Corps is facing as senior enlisted advisors. So, Sergeant Major, welcome. How you doing today?
Oh, man, I mean, it's Friday. I feel like you can't steal my sunshine, even if you tried. And the retired life, I mean, it doesn't get any better, you know, when the guys and gals out there of the military are wondering, should they stay? Oh my gosh, yes, you should.
So actually, that leads me to one of my first questions, right? How long were you in for, Sergeant?
23 years.
You were in for 23 years, right? And it's extremely difficult to reach this rank of Sergeant Major, and you know, in under another 20. How many of those years were you a Sergeant Major for?
I got promoted in 2017, so that would have put me right at 19 years.
Well, so you picked up Sergeant Major before your 20-year mark.
Correct. Yeah.
That's outstanding.
Yeah,
that's outstanding.
Not everybody thinks it's that tough to get, though. There's a lot of people. I used to hear people say, you know, if you stay in long enough, you get promoted. And I'm like, I don't know who you've been hanging out with. I mean, so, you know, I don't agree with that. But yeah, it is. It's very competitive.
Got you. And you were recently retired, correct?
It's correct, yeah.
So let me ask you this. From a senior enlisted perspective, what does success look like for your Marines?
Oh my gosh, that's a deep question. It's multi-layered, and it's like, you know, what do we always say in the military? Like, you got to peel back the layers of the onion.
Okay.
You know, I don't eat a lot of
onions.
Let's
start peeling
them back. I don't eat
back.
that many onions, and but it's a figure of speech. Okay. But no, it's different for Marines at different stages of their career, right? Like as a new Marine, I mean, what do we expect from you? You know, we want you to like be physically fit. We want you to be at your appointed place of duty. We want you to do your best to learn your job. And I do mean learn your MOS. I mean, that's probably one of the most important things for a junior Marine. You know, and it obviously takes a lot of balance and stuff like that. But once you like come out of that and you start progressing to the NCO ranks, now what does success look like? And I've talked about this many times, man, because I remember as an NCO kind of getting a crash course of it's not about you anymore.
And it's really not.
Right?
It's really not.
And this is something that I used to try to impress upon those young NCOs and even my staff NCOs, right? All the way up to the first sergeants and master sergeants and you name it, is your job, and no one's ever going to get it perfect. Obviously, I still don't have it even close to perfect, but is to try to get your personal life in as good a working order as you can. You know, like, have you ever worked with a guy or gal and they're like never at work? They may be physically present, but they ain't mentally present. Because why? They're always outside. They're on the phone because they're going through a divorce, or they like had to file for bankruptcy, or they're foreclosing on their house, or, you know, they're having these major life issues. And, you know, so when people would always say, why are we doing things like these love language classes? And Sergeant Major, why are you pressing all this stuff? It's like, because it is a good, I used to be a faculty advisor for Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University, you know? And because when you can eliminate those stressors in people's lives, what are they more willing to do?
Yeah, work.
I mean, they're going to be productive, man. I mean, because we cannot like the guy or the gal who's getting kicked out because they did drugs. We cannot like the guy or gal who's whatever you want to call them. You want to call them Jerry's kids? That's fine. You're a leader. Guess what your number one role as a leader is? Don't say lead, because I know somebody was thinking it, right? It is your job is to lead, but it's to get the most production out of every single member of your team.
And you know something, and I agree with you, by the way, but you know something that really gets me is a simple definition that I think that if leaders are our level, right, would understand, everything, the Marine Corps will flow better. It will be a different Marine Corps. The definition in between working with and working for, you know, you know, if you work with someone,
Yeah.
that person is most likely to interact in a positive manner with you because they know that you have their best interests at heart. If you work for someone, it's like you have a 9 to 7 job, which the Marine Corps is not.
Well, what you're talking about is a lack of respect.
Could lead to lack of respect.
Yes. I got this out of my vocabulary a long time ago because I used to say it a lot. And you guys are probably guilty just like I was. Maybe you still are. I don't know. You got to earn my respect. Okay? What's the opposite of you got to earn my respect? My staff NCOs would say that. And I'd say, okay, let me paint a picture for you. I'd sit them all in the same room. I'd walk in and just start disrespecting people. Are you cool with that? No, you're not. Cool with it. No, you wouldn't be, would you? Why? Yeah. Because it's like you're feeling challenged. And it really has nothing to do with your ability as a Marine, my ability as a Marine, our job, our mission, making you better, making me better, right? What did it make you do? It made you lose respect for me.
At what ranks did you see that the most? What would you say, you know, based on your 23 years?
Oh, it's easy. It's NCO. It's the NCO and the junior staff NCO rank. No question.
So staff sergeant and corporals, right?
Yeah.
Like those two? Okay. Now, in order for us to mitigate that, right? Because that's one of the issues, right? In order for us to mitigate that, what skills do you recommend that they start, you know, developing early on in their career in order for them to be more productive and don't go through those phases?
I mean, you know, it depends because every unit is just as different as the men and women that fill the ranks. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we make such a big deal about climate. That's why we make such a big deal about morale. I've been to units where you have these little cliques of just bad apples, I'll call them, you know, and it's a problem because they can poison the well. You know, so it really does take engaged leadership. You have to be, you know, willing to weed those people out and really step into a new beginning. And it's tough, right? It's really difficult because you're going to have, you know, junior Marines that look up to them no matter what, especially the ones that maybe me as a Sergeant Major consider to be bad apples, but they're really good at their job. Watch out. Because those junior Marines are going to be looking at that guy or gal like, oh my gosh, I love them.
Yeah, and that's the hard part, right? But how? Like the real question, because I know it's going to be somebody watching this podcast is, okay, we root them out, fine, but how do we start actually doing that? Like, what first steps do you suggest people start taking in order for them to start rooting out those bad apples? Or you know what? I'll even go a step further. I think that the reason why they're considered bad apples, right, is because a clash of because if someone's good at their job, that means that they care, right? Because if not, they will be just completely bad. You know, how can we get as senior leaders or as NCOs get to have establish those communication links so that way they become decent Marines and also decent or good workers?
Yeah, it's difficult, man, because, you know, that's a big reason why I started social media. Because if you're in that Marines chain of command, dude, I don't care how open your door is, they're not going to tell you. But when you're not in their chain of command, there is rapport there, right? They're more likely to talk to you. I was a part of an OPT, and a guy who is a mentor of mine, amazing Sergeant Major, he was in West Coast CLR, and basically what they did was they had a new joint platoon. So, you know, you checked into your unit, you were part of this new joint platoon, and they got you checked in, they did all this stuff. So by the time you got to your unit, you were just like ready to work kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Well, what they found out that they didn't even expect or anticipate was those Marines that were part of that new joint platoon, when they went to their units, they continued to reach back to that platoon sergeant and that platoon commander. You know why? Because they knew them and they weren't in their chain of command. How many times have you personally reached out to somebody outside your chain of command? All the time.
It's
all
funny.
the time.
It's funny that you ask, right? Because I actually recently went through this, right? As you know, I'm still active duty, right? Yeah. And I recently went through this in my work. And the reason why I went through this, it was because I had one of my peers that decided to go to our next person, you know, a master sergeant that had direct impact on what happens with my career, right?
There you go.
But here's the thing, right? The information that they were given to that master sergeant, which had a direct impact in my career, was completely false and incorrect. You see? But still, that's the perception that he had of me.
Sure.
You see? So what I do and what I suggested for that one of my peers is like, listen, if you have a difference or if you want some type of advice, why do you go to someone that has a direct impact over that person's career? I have plenty of friends that are gunnery sergeants, plenty of friends that are first sergeants, even sergeant majors that I can be like, hey, sergeant major, I'm calling you because I have this problem with one of my peers. How would I fix it? You know, because now it just looks like it's just completely wrong. And I think that it definitely ruins morale, right? And now it creates a divide in the shop, right? It's either you're with me or you're with the other person.
You backstab me.
Yeah, exactly.
There ain't no way. There ain't no other way. You backstab me.
Exactly.
You didn't have to do that, and you did it, and you knew that was going to have a direct impact on my career and stuff like that. So yeah.
So let me ask you this: a hot topic right now, right?
Yeah.
COVID kind of went away, but yet there are still Marines that are being processed out of the Marine Corps, you know, and I feel that kind of took a short stop. And the processing actually got out because it kind of died away, I guess, you know, the higher ups and what's it called, this priorities kind of changed, you know, towards Ukraine. Now we're kind of like slowing down. What are your opinions and thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't think that they should be separating Marines for not taking the vaccine. I think they should take a lot more of a professional approach when it comes to, you know, the exemptions that Marines are applying for. I think at first it was like a rubber stamp. I don't know, it might still be, but this is something that is like, it hits home for me because I just mentioned this yesterday on Instagram. And I had someone reply to my story. Well, you know, the Marine Corps is not going to go back on their stance because then that would be bad, you know, PR, and they would look bad. And it's like, okay, but you still have people on the chopping block. Like I literally just got a text message this morning, okay, from a lieutenant colonel who wants me to write them a character statement because he does not want to take the vaccine. So he was selected for command, which for those of us that know what that process is like, it's competitive. You don't just get selected for command, okay? And he's not going to get command, and he's going on a BOI, which is a board of inquiry for officers, which is really, really bad. They're going to kick him out. Wow. They're going to kick him out. And that's how strongly he feels about it. And this guy is literally like one of the best Marines I've ever met in my life. Wow. So, you know, it's really hitting home.
And that's good that you mentioned that because that leads me to a broad subject about this, right? What macro perspective, for those of us that don't know what macro is, what big problems, you know, overall is the Marine Corps facing right now that you believe can be solved with small unit leadership, or at least, you know, it can help the Marine Corps increase its productivity with simply, you know, the NCOs and our staff NCOs doing that small leadership unit things?
That's difficult. I mean, you know, I was thinking about that on the drive over here because I think it's deeper than that. What do you mean? It's a lot deeper than that. You know, I think we are in a commander-driven institution. And the frustration that I used to feel as a sergeant major was sometimes I'm beating my head up against a brick wall trying to get people to care about things that really aren't important to them.
Like what?
Take your pick. PME. Retention. Retention. That's another big one. You know, and I've had multiple COs and I've been in there with them when they go to brief the CG, and you know what they don't talk about? Retention. PME. A commander has a mission. They're responsible for that unit. And until the stuff that you and I are talking about, that we care about, until that stuff is part of that mission, guess what's not going to happen?
They're not going to retain the Marines that.
They may care about it, but they're gonna throw a little peanut butter and jelly at it.
Kind of like what they did with this new uniform policy.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying, a CO ain't there at 1800 on a Friday explaining to the CG. No, you're talking about two things: aircraft readiness and how many pilots you're popping out. That's it. And don't go home till the numbers are right. But you and me sit here and go, man, how can we make retention better? The answer is easy. It's super easy. Incentivize everything that you possibly can, right? You get your PFT or CFT done early. By this day, we're going to throw a couple extra bucks at you, right? You're at 285 to 300. We're going to throw a couple extra bucks at you. You get your PME done early. By this, whatever, we're going to throw a couple of, you start going to college, we're going to throw you some extra money. Qualifications. But
you know what? I'll tell you this though. When I was going to career school, we had a board, a panel of leadership panel, right? Yep. And I was class president, graduated top of the class, the whole 9 yards, I have not been to a class.
Congratulations.
I'm not doing it to toot my own horn. There's a lot of people out there that don't know. It's like top performers, right? It's top performers. It's like, when they went into that brief, they were saying like, hey, if you're not meeting this standard and if you're not doing this, then the Marine Corps is going to come at you. Whenever they open up the floor for questions, the first thing that I did was raise my hand and was like, hey, how about those Marines that are at the top and are meeting that standard? What incentive are you giving them? And the sergeant major kind of, I think I got him, he wasn't prepared for a question like that. And he was like, well, if you are thinking about money, then this institution is not the right one for you. And then all my fellow staff sergeants at the time were like, ooh, but that wasn't what I meant. What I meant was like, how about we make it easier for Marines to pick their duty station? How about we make it easier for Marines to go to college? Or how about we make it easier for Marines top Marines to go to the MESEP program?
See, I'm talking about money.
Okay, but money, some Marines, all Marines, right, in my opinion, right, they joined the Marine Corps knowing that this was the hardest institution. So money, I was a recruiter, money, not everyone joins because of the money. If they would have wanted to join because of the money.
You didn't join because of the money, but when you get some extra, boy, I bet you figure out how to spend it.
But you know what the issue, I think?
The wife will be at Target like, yo.
But you know why the issue is, and this is the reason why I became a command financial advisor, is because during the first 4 years, the Marines are not most of the Marines are not well educated with their finance. So now they join the Marine Corps because of a want, not necessarily because of a monetary need. But then, like you said, once you start developing that money, they start taking not the right financial decisions during the first 4 years. And when there is time to raise their right hand again, they're like, God damn, like I need to stay in because I have this car payment, I have this mortgage, my wife is pregnant.
Well, here's the issue I see that with what you're saying is that you're looking at it at a macro level. But let me paint a picture for you. I grew up as a skid mechanic, okay? I had all my qualifications. I was a CDI. For the air winger, people that are not in the air wing, is a collateral duty inspector. It's a big deal. And it's something that you need in order to get the freaking job done, okay? Now, I was the only CDI other than our desk sergeant, okay? And we didn't have a staff NCO at the time. So he basically was running the whole section, the whole shop, okay? Now, I'm a corporal. There was at least 3 other corporals in the shop. They weren't CDIs. We're all corporals though, right? And they're just sitting back watching me open the toolboxes. And I had to get there early in the morning. I left last that night. I had to open and close the toolboxes in the morning at the end of shift, before and after chow. If there was ever a trouble call up and down the flight line, guess who was going on it? Me. I had to go down to Miramar, use my gas to go down to Miramar to troubleshoot a bird. Okay. So if you don't think I wasn't resentful towards those other corporals, let me keep it going here. We were in a maintenance pass on one time, and one of the corporals made some offhand comment to me. I basically tried to fight him. I was at my wit's end, dude. I had worked every weekend. I was doing you know what I mean? And so we're promoting guys and girls and we're going, you're both corporals. We're going to pay you the same. Why is this guy over here trying so hard? Why is he or she trying so hard? You know, that's what I mean. And I'm not talking, you know, because look, again, totally agree with you. We don't join for the money, but you get extra money, you're going to figure out how to spend it. Okay, the median household in this country, on average, would love to make an extra $1,000 a month. Am I saying that's what we should give Marines? I'm not saying that. But what do? We throw them re-enlistment bonuses. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. You know, I had a sergeant major who was a squadron sergeant major. He did not grow up in the air wing. You know what he would tell his maintenance chief? Oh, qualifications ain't in the promotion manual, so, you know, we're not going to take that into consideration on the NCO promotion panels. And when I found out he was doing that, I just said, hey, brother, I just want you to know that let me give you a little bit about my story. And this is the environment and the culture that you're going to create. You are going to create it. All right. So when I was a squadron sergeant major, I told them flat out, if you ain't a CDI, don't even expect to be a sergeant. Don't even think about it.
Okay, but there are some Marines, right, that made that mistake, right, of not being fully engaged like they should have and gotten all those qualifications, right? Like what do you recommend to those Marines that right now are sitting back, right? Because probably the ones that are watching this podcast are probably going to be the NCOs that are sitting back on their freaking phone right now while the other CDI is doing all the work, right? What do you have to say to those Marines to correct those mistakes that they're doing, maybe knowingly, maybe unknowingly? What do you have to say to them?
Well, I mean, you know, hey, we need average Marines. Not everybody's a tier 1. Not everybody's top 10%. We need you. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I know it sounds bad because we're Marines, but I really don't mean it in a negative way. We really do need average, middle of the road, okay? Because that's the majority. Yeah. It really is. It really, truly is. And, you know, I think what I'm talking about, though, are the ones that go out of their way to not accept more responsibility. You know, to those, I would say, we're going to put our thumb on you. We're going to keep you right where you are. And counseling is an amazing tool. Okay. And I used it all the time. You have this much time to go to your PME. Okay. If you don't go to your PME, you should expect to get a page 11. All right. Because here's why. It's not going to be a 6105, but you know what the page 11 is going to say? You had an opportunity to go and you didn't take it. Yeah. Because you know how many NCOs and staff NCOs I had check into me and go, my sergeant major never let me. Dude, I ain't never met a sergeant major in my life tell them, no, they can't go to PME. So something don't add up, right? Yeah. And you eliminate that excuse. People hear page 11 and they go, oh my gosh, this guy's talking heresy and everything else like that. But it's you know, that's what I would say to them. And we're gonna keep you right where you are. We're gonna use counseling. You don't want to get your qualifications, great.
And I think what leaders can do, right, in order for them to mitigate that, is to truly organize themselves, right? And there's a great tool that I want to share with everyone, right? Because I think the Marine Corps is moving towards this. It's Microsoft Teams. Now, I don't get paid anything by Microsoft by saying this, okay? So it's an unpaid sponsorship, I guess. But yeah, Microsoft Teams. In Microsoft Teams, you can create literally all the tasks that you have for the battalion, and you can lay out when the corporal courses are going, when the Lance Corporal seminars are going, when the Sergeant School, career course. That way, you can lay out everything, and the Marines can have a better understanding and can have more visibility. I think as long as we enhance the communication, and I think that's what enhanced leadership truly boils down to. It's communication, not following of communication, but free flowing of communication throughout your unit in order for you to maximize the amount of Marines that way you eliminate the excuses from the Marines. I think that as long as you eliminate those excuses from the Marines, no, listen, like you said, you had that time, you had that information readily available, and to you throughout the entire year for you to do this, there's nobody else to blame but you. Because this is going to boil down to the other point that I want to make, right? And it's not just, this podcast are not designed to only make you successful while you are inside of in the Marine Corps. This podcast are also designed to make you successful when you transition out of the Marine Corps. Because guess what? The excuses that you are making today are the same excuses as once you get out of the Marine Corps, you're still going to be making to yourself. But at least in the Marine Corps, if you have an engaged leader, someone will listen to you. Someone will care. Once you transition to that civilian life, let me break it down to you. No one cares. No one cares. And that's a reality. And you can probably tell me if someone cares about the excuses once you're retired.
Nah, man, that's it. It's over.
So
you take off your uniform one last time. And that's it, man. And if you're like me, you remember when you went to MEPS, when you had that funky little name tag on over there in South Central Los Angeles. And just like that, man, it's a chapter in your life that's over. But yeah.
So just to wrap up, right? Now we transition to outside of the military. What are you doing now that you are outside of the military?
I'm a personal trainer.
You're a personal trainer? Where at?
It's all online.
All online?
Yeah, so I train people all over the world, man. I got clients in Canada.
How can they reach out to you if they wanna
link in my bio. Hit me on Instagram at bull5277. I know there's a lot of imposters, but I'm the only one out there. Hit that link. Schedule a call. And we can hop on a call and talk about you, talk about making a better you, talking about, getting you on the way to being healthier and happier.
And what about those Marines that are currently trying to pursue that entrepreneurship, mindset inside of the Marine Corps? What piece of advice would you give out to them?
Do it. Don't wait. Do it. Okay. Reach out to somebody. Get a coach, get a mentor, whatever word. I know we use mentor in the Marine Corps, but I don't really care what the word is. You want to call it a coach, a mentor, a teacher, a guide. It doesn't matter. Okay. Get somebody, because the odds are that there's somebody else out there that's already done what you're trying to do, period. Right. And you don't have to figure it all out on your own. There's no moral high ground from doing that. Go find someone who's already done it, learn from their mistakes, follow their lead, okay? Find the expert, and then that's what you do. And you have to approach it as Marines approach everything, with vigor and tenacity, okay? I do everything my business coach tells me. I have a business coach. Everybody should have a coach. Steph Curry's the best three-point shot in the NBA, but he's got a three-point shot coach. Why? Because that guy sees things outside of Steph that Steph can't see. Tom Brady, best quarterback in NFL history. He's got a quarterback coach, though. I wonder why that is. Because he sees things that Tom can't see. If you think, oh my gosh, I've got it all figured out, and I don't need to take advice from anybody, you're probably filled with pride. You're not super humble, right? Because that's what humility is. It's the opposite of pride. It doesn't mean you can't be proud of yourself. We should all be proud of ourselves. But a humble person says things like, I've come a long way. I'm really proud of myself, but I have a lot to learn and a long way to go, and I'm not going to stop pressing. That's what humble people say, and that's what good leaders do. Those are the environments that good leaders foster, right? And just like to your last point of leadership and getting Marines to be better Marines, getting them to be better civilians upon transitioning, right? We need to be able to, it's not choose your own adventure in the Marine Corps. It's not choose your own adventure. Because I can get up there. How old are you?
I'm 30.
Would you say that you're different from when you were 18?
100%.
100%.
Yes.
Not even close.
Yeah.
When you look back at your 18-year-old self, do you think, oh my gosh, I was so smart?
Oh, hell no.
I had it all together. I mean, I didn't need any help.
I thought I had it all. I thought
you did.
Yeah, I thought I did.
You thought you did.
Yeah.
And now you look back, and when you're 35, you said you're 30?
I'm 30, yeah.
When you're 35, you're going to look back when you're 30 and go, oh my gosh. And it just never changes.
Yeah.
What am I trying to say? Your Marines are the same. Dude, when I was 18, I was out there trying to help freaking populate Oceanside, California and get a 30 rack and go to the barracks. You think I cared about, Gunny, whoever up there talking about a budget? Budgets are so great. Great. Thank you. I'm not going to save my money. I'm going to go to Oceanside and spend it.
Yep.
How do we as leaders change that? You don't make it an option, right? Hey, Bull, what are you doing? Oh, I'm working. No, you're not anymore. Go put your tools away. You're going to go see the financial counselor on base. I already made an appointment for you. Goodbye. Right? Hey, Bull, are you going to college? Hey, guys, college is great. Hey, Bull, guess what? I made you an appointment on freaking Tuesday at 14:30 at the Joint Education Center, dog. Go get your counseling done. And then you're going to come back. We're going to talk about it. Hey, Bull, have you gone to the Lance Corporal seminar yet? No, Gunny. All right, cool. Check it out, dog. You got like 4 minutes to go up to the S3, get a command screening checklist, get me 3 dates for the next courses, come down, and we're going to pick one. That's what you do as a leader.
Yes.
Because until you do that, everything literally is nothing but a good idea. My brain can only hold so many things. Let's say I could hold 10 things and Gunny's up there talking for a freaking hour. Oh, there goes number 11. So I got to push something off the list. And number 12, there goes something else off the list. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. No,
and my staff and TLs would say that all the time. They'd go, well, the Marines know they got to go to PME. Dude, you control everything, you knucklehead. You control the tempo, the climate, the culture, the schedule. Okay? And one of my staff and TLs, I took him aside and I said, this is what you do. You focus on 3 to 5 things. You need the Marines to get the qualifications, right? The MOS stuff, that's over here. We're going to put that over here. You got to make them get their qualifications, okay? And then 3 to 5 things over here. Let's start with promotion requirements. Rifle range, PFT, CFT, PME. Let's just say with those 3. Okay. How many Marines you got in your section? 64. Okay, cool. Put 2 on your calendar every single day. Because until it makes it to your calendar, it ain't real. You might do it once and then forget about the next month or the next quarter, whatever, right?
And there's so many tools that, like that's the thing.
Tell me you didn't use a calendar as a recruiter.
I had to.
You lived by it.
You
lived by it.
I had to.
Because if it didn't get on the calendar, it wasn't going to happen.
It wasn't going to happen. And there's so many tools in your phone. There's so many free tools. Like I said, Microsoft Teams, that now being unorganized is not an excuse. It's like being organized is a must.
But think about it. You're asking 18-year-old Albert to have the same everything as 30-year-old Albert, and it's impossible.
You know how I control that though? I'm gonna give this trick that I do. Reminders on your phone, it's completely free app. Your iPhone comes with it, right? And you can put, like I have right now, you can put reminders and you can share them. I will put this in the screen right now. I don't think you can see it, but hey, you can put it with your entire shop. And you can assign those reminders to your Marines. So that way you know exactly, or you know when you're keeping track of when is it that your Marines need to take action on something, and you can follow up. And it divides it by everything. It divides it by person. It divides it by freaking what's due today, who's assigned to what task. That's what I'm saying. There's so many tools out there that it's impossible to just simply not, like, it's impossible for you to not be organized. Like let's just, you have all the tools that you need in order for you to be organized.
But when you say Lance Corporal Bull, this better be done by Thursday at 14:30. Guess what just happened for me? It went from a good idea to my top priority. You know, I talk to first sergeants all the time. I still mentor, like, even sergeants majors. And they go, oh, my staff and TLs, they don't do their job. I'm like, first of all, don't ever say that to them. Okay, because you're going to lose them, because a lot of them are losing their marriages. They're struggling, and they're coming in early, friggin' dark 30, late dark 30, going home, right? Missing dinner, you name it. They're rowing hard for you, the vast majority of them. They may not be rowing in the right direction, but you got to find a way to package it and sell it to them. But one thing that a first sergeant told me, oh, they're not doing their job because they don't counsel. I said, okay, what's your process to make sure they counsel? Well, what do you mean? There's a Marine Corps order in place. Okay. Well, this is what I used to do. I'd be real cool too. I never came over the top. Blah, blah, blah. That wasn't me. You know what I would do? Hey, first platoon, how's it going, man? Hey, it's good talking to you, brother. How's life, man? How's the kids, man? Hey, okay, she's gonna have her birthday this week. Oh, cool. Hey, dog, in 2 weeks, man, I need all of your mentorship jackets on my couch. All right? I gotta run, brother. Have a good day. Click. What just happened in that platoon sergeant's mind? I mean, printers are crying, right? Counselings are getting done, because that just became. And if I put that as a senior enlisted on my calendar,
you know it's gonna happen. You know it's gonna get done, especially if it's coming from Sergeant Major.
And I didn't have to yell at nobody. Yeah. Hey, dog. Hey, brother, 2 weeks, man. Do you need 3? I'll give you 3. I'm good.
And that can be the difference, you know, like how the approach of how you do it. It can be the difference in between people doing the bare minimum and people doing like the max effort because of how you approached it. You know, instead of just like, hey, I need this today. You know, it's like, oh man, screw that guy. Like, I got my marriage, like you said, I got this freaking future Marine star I got to deal with, and now you fucking wanted me to do this. You know, instead of approaching, it's like, hey, bro, hey, I appreciate, you know, like take that 1 minute to find out about how he's doing, and then you transition to business and be like, hey, let me do this. And that's what I meant about the difference in between working with and working for. But Sergeant Major, unfortunately, this is all the time that we have today. This has been an extremely meaningful conversation. I definitely appreciate you actually coming. I definitely appreciate you you coming today to talk with us. And then hopefully we can get this happen. And please, for everyone that's watching this, make sure that you follow us on social media. If you haven't followed him, make sure that you go give him a follow on Instagram, that you go give me a follow on Instagram and Facebook. We're all over social media, so please make sure that you follow us. And if you have any questions, like he said, do not hesitate to reach out to us so that way we can give you all the information that you need. The resources are out there. You just need to go out there and actually pursue them.
Hey, this is a judgment-free zone, you guys. If you're seeing this, if you're hearing this, shoot me a message. I will DM you back, okay? I am a free resource for you. I never put anybody on blast, report anybody to anyone's command. 23 years of experience.
Awesome.
At your fingertips.
That's awesome to hear, and I appreciate you being here, Sergeant Major. That's it. Until next time, guys. I'll see you.